Hello and welcome back to YouTube.com. I am stuck in 2017. Until I finish this pretentious monthly-ish scrapbook, I kind of don't feel like I can start the new year. Kind of a counterproductive headspace to be in, considering it's April, and I am very far behind on filmmaking and my university assignments and deadlines. Don't know why I'm celebrating that. Don't know why I'm not doing uni work. The one benefit of being stuck in the past, however, is that I can still think about my favourite films of 2017 with a lot of clarity. So here is the completely unanticipated
Sam Engel's Top 10 Films of 2017. Why is this not December's PM?
This list is from the Oscar season of 2017. It's subjective, so take that with a pinch. Take that with a tablespoon.
Number 10. The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
I think this film has been a little overlooked, if I'm honest. A renowned heart surgeon's comfortable life is threatened by the malicious intent of fatherless teen Martin. Out of Lanthimos's filmography, I have only seen this and The Lobster, yet I feel fully immersed in his style. The emotionless acting, the surreal plot lines, the intriguing twists and turns. I feel like this was the most thrilling film I saw in 2017. In regards to that emotionless acting, how each character is deadpan, I am so here for it, because when that is broken down, the emotional peak is redonkulous. It's amazing to watch. Barry Coogan is captivating, the climax is immense, and although I kind of wanted a different ending, I thought the one that there was neat and purposeful, so I respect it. Cool, on to the next one. Bish.
Number 9. Loveless or Nelabov.
Loveless. This is a Russian film that follows a couple's vicious divorce as they both try and start their new lives. Also how they react to their 12-year-old son going missing. It is a brutal film, and it is a really good example of polarising cinema, because so many people either love it or hate it. Everyone I've spoken to hates it. So for me, this film is unique in that I both loved it and hated it. This was the most thought-provoking film of the year. Even 2 months on now, I'm still finding questions and thoughts about it. Its commentary on the West's Snapchat and Instagram obsessions, as well as the materialistic distractions of life, is ultimately drawing us from what really matters: human connection. There's an absence of one particular character which really draws to how important that character is to the story. These characters are hateful. You want them to suffer. So when there's this final emotional hit, it is such a shock that you still feel gut-wrenched. There is a facade put up by them all the way through the film, and when that is dropped, you finally see their real emotion, which they've only actually shown to the social media side of their lives before. They've never shown it to the human connection part. It's so cleverly done. Not an easy watch. Mum, don't watch this one. Sorry.
Number 8. The Return of the King.
I mean, if you know me in real life, you'll know that my love for this film has become almost a meme now. If you don't feel the same, bear with me. We'll get there. Bear with me. This film follows Paddington's hunt for a present for Aunt Lucy's 100th birthday when a thief steals his dream gift, and Paddington must hunt down and kill all those who have wronged him. Those who haven't seen this film will wonder why I've even put it on the list. Those who have seen the film will question why it's 7th and not at the top. Believe me, I considered putting it right at the top at one point. It's a bloody warm and glorious film that I watched in a horrible mood, and it completely lifted me out of it. It's permeated in charm. It's a colourful and vibrant escape from a fairly desolate world, and makes me excited to one day have kids and watch it with them over and over and over and over and over.
7. Call Me Daddy.
In 1980s Italy, a romance blossoms between a 17-year-old student and the older man hired as his father's research assistant. The word beautiful has lost its meaning from overuse, but this film, it redefines that meaning. It is triumphant and yet heartbreaking. It is actually the perfect visualisation of how Sufjan Stevens' music makes me feel. So to have that as the soundtrack as well, a bit overwhelming. Hit me right in the feelings. It is a film with serious heart and a subtle level of humour as well, which I really appreciate. But I do have a few nitpicks, as we all do with things we love. Firstly, I felt the beginning of the third act was a bit of a weird pace for me. Secondly, the scene that inspires the actual title of the film, no, not for me. Don't like it at all. It felt both a cliche and trying too hard. Pretentious.
Call me by your name and I'll call you by mine.
My name is Jeff.
Thirdly, there's a reason I refer to it as Call Me Daddy, and that's That's Arnie Hammer's casting. I'm more than willing to suspend my disbelief for filmmaking, but Timothy looking 14 and Army looking 40... Look, father and son in this photo. I guess that perhaps a visual age gap could present the element of taboo that is otherwise missed on us liberal contemporary folk. The ending shot was truly one of the best of the year. I was truly speechless, and I would have happily seen it win Best Picture, even though I did put £10 on Shape of Water. Just like animate some like money in After Effects.
6. Ladybug.
Teenager Ladybird navigates a loving but turbulent relationship with her strong-willed mother over the course of an eventful and poignant senior year of high school. Yes, I copied that word for word from Google. I guess I am the kind of person who always acts like I don't like coming-of-age films, but then when I watch them, I love them, I fall in love with them, much like I fell in love with Saoirse Ronan. It is wonderfully relatable, yes, but it manages to have a personal connection with every unique viewer. That's incredible, that's a real achievement. Saoirse Ronan captures youth in such a uniquely wonderful way. Each character feels so vital to the story, and I was so gutted when it ended. I look forward to watching her directorial career blossom like the blossoming of Ladybird. Wow.
5. Get Out of my head. You got that one thing.
Get Out is about the tragic story of TSA agent Rod, whose best friend Chris fails to respect the bros before hoes pact they signed as kids. It's worth the hype, this film. I have talked about it before, so I'll try and keep this brief. This movie is ace. It is stunningly written, and I don't know much about horror outside of this film, but it has so many Easter eggs. Every time I watch it, I do find something new. It truly takes no prisoners, and the only reason it's fallen down on this list is because I think that sticking slightly more close to the original ending would have been much more of a gut punch, and maybe it's because I'm a fan of bittersweet endings, but I just miss that slight final hit. The optimistic ending, not for me. Check out the alternate ending, I will link it below. Okay.
4 Calling Birds, 3 Billboards, 2 Turtle Doves and a Partridge ebbing the story.
Mildred Hayes, played by Frances McDormand, personally challenges the local authorities to solve her daughter's murder when they fail to catch the culprit. This is without doubt my favourite Martin McDonagh film, which is saying a lot coming from the guy who made In Bruges and 7 Psychopaths. The depth of these characters goes very far beyond what McDonagh has achieved before, particularly in Mildred. Frances McDormand is so good. She has the forefront of all the best lines of the film.
This is just a fucking start. Why don't you put that on your Good Morning Missouri fucking wake-up broadcast, bitch?
Sorry, Mum. I think that this film flickers between hatred and heart so eloquently. There are so many flawed characters and a narrative that keeps asking you questions, making you wonder, whose side do you stand on? And is there anyone whose side you can stand on? Sam Rockwell's character is an interesting moral conflict in that it both connects you emotionally and often through point of view shots, and yet it completely polarizes you through his socio-political stances. Even Mildred, who deserves justice and resolution, she commits crime and immoralities and often does things that ultimately seem like it's just revenge. If you can, please watch it. It is worth the hype. Most of these films are worth the hype. We'll get on the interesting ones after the break. There's no break.
3. Raw. Hug. Yep. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
A girl goes to uni, she's a vegetarian, and then she decides she wants to become a vegan. This film follows the dark, twisted pathway that partaking in veganism ensues. Again, I've talked about this film already. I bloody love it, pun intended, and it has symbolism spurting out of it. On repeat viewings, and of course being at uni a little bit longer, I have come to adore the coming-of-age aspects and the provocative nature behind it all. Fun fact, I've watched this film 4 times now, and it just gets better every time, it truly does. And watch it with friends who haven't seen it. That makes it really interesting too.
2. 2001. A Blade Runner C.
A Blade Runner known as K unearths a long-buried secret that could potentially send the remains of a broken society into chaos. Ryan Gosling has an amazing agent, and Villeneuve, in my opinion, is one of the best living directors. Blade Runner is my mum's favourite film, so this has a kind of personal connection to me. This film truly mirrors the desolate society we live in with eloquence and grace, and it comes to no surprise that I'm going to praise Roger Deakins. This film looks and feels like an immersive, beautiful, neo-futuristic world. Don't know if that's a real thing, but I've said it now. Yes, it is a long film. I mean, it's only 10 minutes longer than Pulp Fiction, and it's 4 minutes longer than There'll Be Blood, but I can see how some people felt the long-winded pace of it. I was fully sucked into this dystopian world, and yes, I know a big criticism is the representation of women in this film. I can see the argument, but I feel that it is an intentional use of gender to represent the patriarchal society we currently live in. I feel Villeneuve is very conscious and conscientious in how he presents characters and genders in his films. I mean, look at Kate in Sicario or Louise in Arrival. And yes, just because he has done films with strong female characters in the past, it doesn't give him a free pass. But I think there's so much more to that. But yeah, that's just my white, male, cisgender, hetero 2 cents, so... Honourable mentions break.
Grinding Nemo, Itomuraro to the Ning, Cocoa Pops and Milk, Mudbound Rocket Ship and now Arch to the Moon, The Last Jedediah, for God's sake either finish the pie or cut to be roll, Baby Drive Through, The Big Sick, Little Sick, Cardboard Box.
Yes.
Number 1. The Florida Project.
We follow 6-year-old Mooney as she causes chaos and seeks adventures with her gang of friends, as well as bonding with her mum Hayley, all on the desolate outskirts of Disneyland. I've said the word desolate a lot. I will try my best not to gush and gush about this film, but I was genuinely gutted when I did not see it get nominated for Best Picture. Following the perspective and optimism of these children while simultaneously being vibrant, tender, colourful, it's truly gorgeous and almost a revisit of neorealism. Pretentious statement, but there we are. The contrast of the happiest place in the world and these homeless children that genuinely surround Disneyland, it is truly effective and so subtle. And seeing this most crushing scene through the eyes and perspective of young children, it truly hits the mark without having to go through the kind of typical signposting that other socialist films may have to. It is the response to poverty that we are not seeing, but we needed. And the heartbreak, the poignancy, the emotional hits are going to stick with me for a long time and inspire me to make again and again. I have so much more I want to say about this film. Some of those are covered in a Nerdwriter video that is portrayed really eloquently, so I'll link that below. Cool, those are my opinions. If you disagree with me, please tell me why. If you agree with me, please tell me why. And also leave your top 10 films down below. Looking at you, Mum. Cool, okay, bye. Thanks for watch time. Thanks for watch. PMS December coming very soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All things come to an end.
Sam?
Yeah.